Phil Hawkey, Vegetation Management Officer for the North East Region Country Fire Authority. We travelled to Orange to a burn workshop. It was a 3-day workshop where 2 days were spent out in the field doing traditional burning with the traditional owners up there, the Wiradjuri people. Traditional burning involves a whole manner of different things. In this particular case, the outcome was to treat serrated tussock, imported weed that has invaded the land up there, and it's prolific. It's a shocking thing in the country, and they're looking at seeing if traditional burning will treat that country. It's supported by science from ANU as well as some local ecologists who are working there, and it'll be a 3-year program to just see how the burning treats the area. So they're going to try different methods. They'll burn different temperatures, different times of the year. But this was a really cool burn. It was fantastic to see fire in the landscape in what is really classed as a cool burn. So cool that moments after the fire passed across the land, you could put your hand on the ground behind the fire front, and the ground was quite cold. It was just a gentle little backing fire that moved across the landscape and burnt all the tussock, but seemed to leave everything else behind.
To be able to light a fire in a way that it burns itself out is pretty high technology, I guess, of its day. You know, we've seen that more recently in probably the last 100 years or more, of the devastation that it causes if we don't, in terms of the foliage that's on the ground. But that firing process, so you're able to keep that foliage down, but encourage those animals and encourage the flora and the fauna to come back, basically.
The technique is different to our normal burning, where it's a backing fire, which is a fire moving against the wind. Single ignition, so rather than multiple ignition points, this is just lit from one point, and then the fire just gently backs across the landscape, in this case just up a gentle slope, and virtually put itself out once it had reached a certain point. The skills shown by the traditional owners and the burning crew that came down from Cape York was fantastic to see. They had a really good understanding of fire behaviour and really knew what the fire was going to do. The way the fire was lit and the way it travelled across the landscape, it was very gentle and never at any stage got out of control. Micklem fire occurred on the 9th of February this year, 2014. Started just north of Melbourne and then progressed in a northerly direction for the next few days. Now that fire impacted 400 properties through the Micklem area, and a lot of those are smaller lifestyle sort of properties. Some were large scale farms. If we applied this style of burning into those properties where they could be responsible for managing their own land at the appropriate time of the year, the outcome from that fire may have been very different if there was a checkerboard of little patchy burns across the landscape. I think it's a fantastic opportunity for CFA to learn, and more than CFA, it's about the community learning, because CFA isn't a land manager. It's not responsible for managing the land. The individuals, landowners, are responsible for that. And if we apply this sort of technique, there's an opportunity for individual landowners to manage their land in a simple way. And it'd be fantastic if we had some Aboriginal practitioners in the community working with people, teaching them how to do this and how to manage their own land.